Talladega Super Speedway. Well. Here we are for the OB Builders Cup Series here on V-Speed. Well, welcome everybody to the Ram 300 here at Talladega, and we are round number 2 in the round of 12, and it is going to get tight. It is a dice roll tonight. You better have lady luck on your side if you're going to come away with a victory, lock yourself into the next round, or be able to even make it to the next round. The next two are extremely wild card type races. Talladega, we always worried about the big one. We saw it in real life. It's likely going to happen here. Then you got the Roval to move on to the next round, the round of 8, and it is going to be a tough couple rounds for some folks, but here we are. Talladega is where we are tonight, and you all know it. We all love it. In Alabama, it is the biggest super speedway in the country. 2.66 miles is how long this thing is. It is the biggest, it's the baddest, and dadgum if it ain't a good time if you're able to go. It's a lot of fun, great track. Been going there many years. Being a Mississippi boy, I always end up at Talladega, but it's a lot of fun. Now, in real life, a little bit subdued, a lot of fuel saving. We'll see a little bit of that tonight, but I think you'll see these guys really pushing to try to get those stage points. Only one person is safe, and that is Kenny Coppola, as he was able to get the win last week and locked himself into the next round, the round of 8, the hardest round, if you ask me. And so now you've got a lot of guys who are looking to try to continue that trend that Kenny set forth last week. Who's it going to be? Randy Mullins, all but it's safe. He just needs to have two couple pedestrian races. He'll move on to the next round. But it's no guarantee at all. And this place can chew you up, spit you out. You can see the point standings all the way down to that cut line. Paul Gallimore, Blaine Wilson. They're the ones that are kind of holding that line. And Blaine Wilson, Hunter Carmichael, they're outside looking in. Then you got Tim Wortman Jr. after missing last week. He is 20 points below the cutoff. He needs to have a great night tonight if he's going to move on. But a win could solve everything. If Jordan Smith, Tim Wortman Jr., or any of the other drivers that don't have the initials KC, you got a chance to move on, not have to worry about the Roval next week. Well, Talladega, we know all about it. And we'll bring up another graphic here and take a look at it. 2.66 miles, 33-degree banking. Some of the stoutest banking that you'll see, and that's why it is so fast. We saw it in real life, 4 wide these guys can do. Now, on iRacing, I don't trust guys with 4 wide. I'm not sure that they can do that. But if there is a group that can, it's this one right here at the Moonshiners Racing League. Well, Eddie Smith with V-Speed with you tonight, and we are looking at 113 laps at Talladega. That is a long race. Got to settle in. Find your bearings, find your position, find where you sit, but also take care. Don't take any wild moves. Try to make it to the end. But you got stage points to worry about. You sit there at the bottom, lap 25, lap 50, stage points get awarded. So if you're down below the cutoff line, if you're those guys that were below that line, if you're Blaine Wilson, Tim Wortman, Jordan Schmeets, those guys, got to be thinking about that. Get up front and get those stage points. And if you're any other driver, those stage points will carry on all the way through. So it is important that everybody be fighting for those on lap 20 and 50. Got one green-white checkered attempt, and then you can see the rest of the data there as we have just a few seconds. Qualifying is just now wrapping up, and we got to jump right into the grid. Well, there it is. Grid is starting to roll right now. Let's jump right into it. See who's going to start on the front row. Paul Gallimore starts on the pole here tonight. You can see just a small margin there with Randy Mullins, your regular season champ, outside of the front row. And row number 2, Kenny Coppola, last week's winner. Tim Wortman Jr. in 4th. In 5th, Shane Davis and Brandon Bikey. They're in the 6th position. In 7th, Andrew Niedert and Jeffrey Taylor in 8th spot. Kate Norfree in 9th position, and in 10th, Jamison Middlemiss. In 11th, Matt Mackin with Warren Young in 12th. In 13th, going to be Chris Davis with Justin Belmont in the 14th position. In 15th, Ed Bowles Jr., Aaron Matthews in 16th. 17th is Barry Sanders, Nick King in the 18th position. 19th, Brandon Fetterplace, Jared Clark in 20th. In 21st, Alex Coffey, Darren Mills in 22nd. 23rd, Ryan Huff with Nigel Christensen in that 24th position. 25th, Jordan Schmeets and Blaine Wilson, a couple below the cutoff drivers. Going to be starting in the back here tonight. 27th, Johnny Shade with Matt Cox in that 28th position. In 29th, Hunter Carmichael and Jeff Carson in the 30th position. And Matt Medler brings up the caboose in 31st spot. That is your grid here tonight as we get this thing ready to roll off. Waiting on everybody to grid up, get in their cars, get their stuff situated. And you can see everybody kind of getting you do a couple things when you're getting ready for a race. You put your gloves on, you crack your neck. You see Nick King down there just getting his neck all stretched out, getting everything loose, getting those shoulders loose. They can get tight holding his steering wheel as long as they do. It looks like Jeffrey Taylor taking a selfie. I like that. So he's getting ready in a different way. You see a drink come out of there as everybody getting everything in order and getting ready to go almost 200 miles an hour here at Talladega. Got to reach back up in there. A lot of these guys have steering wheels that are bolted onto a rig. Some guys got wheels that are kind of latched to a desk. Kind of reach up into there and make sure that that latch is as tight as it can be. Give it a little extra turn, get it snugged up. Don't want that thing coming off while you're racing around here. You see these guys. You see Johnny Shea, Tim Wortman Jr., Barry Sanders, Kenny Coppola, Jeffrey Taylor, and Nick King there on the cams tonight. So we'll be interested to see how they all fare. And will we see a non-playoff driver take the victory here? It's very, very possible. Going to be a good one, I think. I think stage points going to be the big thing tonight. Trying to get as many of those as you can. Will that affect your strategy? Of course it will. They have 6 tires in the pits, but I don't think we'll see too many folks using those unless they just for security. Just because you're going to be on pit road during a caution. Might take 4 tires, but I think fuel only should be the call majority of the time. Got Let's Go 54 Mullins in chat. Go Coffee outside front row. Let's go Randy Mullins. Kelly Coffee being a little critical of TIG Esports in their qualifying effort. So fans not happy about the effort they put into qualifying. But if I know TIG Esports like I do, they'll be up at the front for too long. At least Alex Coffee will. All right, pace car getting ready to pull off. He is pulled off. And we are getting ready to go green. 112 laps. Strap in. This is going to be a long one. It's going to be a fun one. Through the tri-oval. I ain't going to say the thing that you want me to say. You already know where the start-finish line is. Into the Geico restart zone. Barney got the green flag in his hands. He is waving it. We're green here at Talladega. Well, so far, so good for the field. As you can see, a little separation up front. A little 3-wide action towards the back. But Paul Gallimore with a push from Kenny Coppola shoves him out in front. And Gallimore will lead the first lap here tonight. Guys, I always try to bring you a lot of excitement. Tonight, I'm gonna try to pace myself. I don't want to get too excited and lose my voice again. So we're gonna pace ourselves tonight. We're gonna give you that that low by the campfire type call towards the end of this race. But you can see right now, Kenny Coppola, Paul Gallimore pulling away. These first few laps are definitely gonna be a little bit chill, I think. You see Kenny Coppola comes disconnected from Paul Gallimore. They can't push too long. The engine will start to overheat, so you don't want to get too aggressive with it. But see the pack starting to catch up here. Now that they have stretched it out, fell back a little bit. Now the pack's starting to catch up. Gallimore holds the lead, but you can see the second lane forming up. And it's led by none other than Randy Mullins. At OB Builders Outdoor and Trim, orange and black 54 machine is going to fight. Got Tim Wortman Jr. on the outside, going to push him out front. And now Randy Mullins has the lead. And Tim Wortman Jr., Nick King, all three of those guys are clear. So how much fuel are you going to save? Everybody knows the strategy at this point. Shouldn't be any surprise to anybody about how the strategy works at Talladega because they don't take tires. You know, fuel is always something that you're going to be thinking about. However, on iRacing, it's a little bit easier, I think, to move through the field. You can see they're able to run 3 wide. It's not as restrictive. You see Shane Davis go down to the inside. You can actually get a lot of really good runs. Track position is important, but not like it is in real life. The drafting model in iRacing is a little bit different. There's a lot of similarities, but I think you can make your way to the front. The lines don't stall out as bad. We'll see. So fuel saving, I don't think we'll see a whole lot of it. Maybe towards that final stage, you want to save a little bit of fuel so you can get the track position for the final restart. But you won't see it as bad as you see it in real life. So I think we'll see a lot of good racing. And right now, you're watching Bikey push the 79. A lot of really hard shoves. These next gen cars really can take a hit, can take a push. And you can be aggressive here. And you can see now 3 wide, multiple rows deep, starting about the 5th position. That middle line in the about 4 cars leading the way. You see Chris Davis actually going to jump up to that outside line. He wants to lead it. And so we do have 3 defined lines at this point. So much better than what you see in real life. You kind of go, well, if they were 4 wide, yeah. Well, they weren't running full throttle, and this is what these guys are doing. They are getting with it. Stage points on everybody's mind. Lap 25 is when we'll get there. So you want those stage points, you got to be making those moves now. You can't wait. If you're in the back, if you're these guys, Ryan Hubb, Brandon Fetterplace, Caden Norfree, all these guys, even Justin Belmont back here, these guys may be riding around, maybe trying to miss the wreck, but you give up those valuable stage points, that could make a huge, huge difference. But pretty calm right here. These guys know the deal. They know what they need to do, and they can definitely run 3 wide. You can see just the massive gap it is between each lane, and that's just giving that extra room. You won't see that at the end of the race. That middle line will pinch tight on that bottom. Be aggressive right now. Everybody playing nice. You see a lot of 2-car tandems kind of getting hooked up here, trying to make a little bit of moves. Although I'll tell you what, Blaine Wilson's getting a massive run there on that outside line. He's got Chris Davis behind him. Davis just bouncing off the wall. He's pushing so hard. And Blaine Wilson gonna go out front. On board, Chris Davis. See that top line surging, and they'll get so far out there that eventually they'll kind of pull away from the pack, and then their overall speed will just drop. And that pack will just kind of roar back to them, especially once they come disconnected right here. So big runs are going to be coming from Aaron Matthews. We'll see if he stays in line. If they go down to the bottom, nope, here comes Warren Young. Takes that run. That's the danger of getting out too far ahead. Something to think about on a final restart. If you do get in a position on the front row, you definitely don't want to push out too far. Drag that brake a little bit. That way they don't come surging back. As you see now, Blaine Wilson up on that outside line, trying to get it back rolling as Aaron Matthews, Hunter Carmichael, and Warren Young start to pull away. Hunter Carmichael got a nice little scheme tonight. We'll throw back Dale Earnhardt's scheme. So he's got something on his mind here at Talladega. Oh, here we go. Wrecking happened. Brandon Bikey involved. The 79 of Shane Davis. And no caution. No caution on the speedway as they are able to pretty much save it. But Bikey going to lose the draft down on the apron. That was a pretty massive wreck, but no caution. iRacing electing not to throw it. Kind of see what happened here. I think it started with the 79. Shane Davis here in the middle, I do believe. Oh, yeah, it's where it started. I can't see who was in front of him. See, 89 of Matt Mettler. You're going to watch right here on board on this replay. We're still green, by the way. We're going to go right back to the action. But you can see they just kind of get crossed up. One goes low, one goes high. Just hits him at the wrong angle. And you can see how many cars involved. But back to the live action. You can see the separation from the pack. Luckily, we do have a stage break, so these guys should be okay. Bikey is the one that's going to be in the biggest trouble. He is down on pit road at the moment. Not really sure what he is doing on pit road. Maybe had some damage that needs to be fixed, because he is going to go a lap down now. Then you look right back here. I mean, you've got Alex Coffey, Nick King. These guys are almost 30 seconds back. They're running about 49-second lap times. And Alex Coffey, Nick King, Jeff Carson, and Darren Mills are running way back here. There's where they are. And then the lead pack on the backstretch. So they are in danger of going a lap down if they don't get together. They should be able to hold them off with just about 13, 14 laps left in this stage. But Brandon Bikey going to go a lap down. If these three right here don't go a lap down, Bikey will be fine. He'll get the lucky dog. He'll be back on the lead lap in a jiffy. Go back up front. The pack's significantly smaller now. And so now a lot of guys who needed those stage points, Alex Coffey, Justin Belmont, and others, they're not going to be able to get them this time, at least for this stage. So that's going to hurt them. That's a big deal. But Warren Young now has the lead. Carmichael there in second. Then you got Barry Sanders. Another good-looking scheme from Barry Sanders, man. He is been knocking these schemes out of the park. I don't know, maybe me and him have the same taste, I guess. I mean, he just every week shows up with a banger paint scheme. We see a couple pink paint schemes out there. You got Chris Davis with one. And, of course, you'll hear it nonstop in a lot of different leagues and in real life, but it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October. So iRacing folks, man, they take any opportunity they can find to paint a car, put up a new scheme. Some of these guys change schemes every week. So, yeah, a really great cause like, the October month where breast cancer awareness is sort of a big topic. iRacing folks really jump on board. And you can see the banners on the windshields as well that dictate or show who the playoff cars are. You see those pink banners on top of the windshield. They are pink as well, so pretty cool to see that kind of happen. Now, I'll tell you what, I said Bikey would be fine, but currently at the moment he is in danger of going another lap down. He's actually going to pull off and let maybe the pack go. I don't know. He does pull down on the apron, so Bikey's going to go down 2 laps. So he's going to have to hope for a caution here and then maybe another one. but probably not going to be happy that a caution didn't come out there. But here at Moonshiners, they do not have live race control. And they have in-race admins, but, you know, a lot of times they can't see what's going on, so they don't know what needs a caution, what doesn't. It's always better, in my opinion, if you're a league, you have an admin in the race, you don't have live race control, just to always let iRacing control it, because that way you take yourself out of the equation. There's never a place where people can call favorites. So I like the call to not throw it, let iRacing be the one that makes the call. They were able to keep it going. Nobody had, you know, major damage where they were sitting on the track, nothing like that. So we stayed green. Save the tatas, Todd says in chat. I like that. Pretty calm up here as Warren Young going to continue to lead this front pack, and Hunter Carmichael all over him, pushing him. Well, what I love about this time, especially now that the pack is a little bit smaller, you have the opportunity to kind of experiment a little bit. Practice your draft, find out who you can work with. A lot of these guys on the same team, or they're not on the same team, but they have teams that they're on. Everybody's got a team for the most part. So you're obviously going to work with your teammates, but, you know, every once in a while your teammate kind of swerves all over the place, or y'all just can't seem to get hooked up. There's always that one fella out there that you can get hooked up and y'all can make a lot of moves. And you try to find that right now. Find who you can work with. Find who can take a push. And kind of experiment a little bit. Find where you're fastest. How long can you push? That's a great thing to start working out right now. Hunter Carmichael's probably putting that to work right here. Is how long can I push before I start to overheat? That front end grill. That's how the air gets to the engine. And if you're tucked up under somebody's rear bumper right there, you're not getting any air. So here comes Matt Cox, who jumped down below that yellow line, or below that bottom line. Now getting a push from Chris Davis. He's going to push out there and try to take the lead. Try to get those bonus points, but some aggressive pushing here as we start to close in on the end of stage number 1. But yeah, you know, you push, and then it starts to overheat a little bit. You have to back off. And it is a dangerous game if you play it for too long. Even if you push it to the yellow, it'll start blinking yellow, then eventually red as that water. Oh, my goodness. Matt Cox with a very late move to the outside, and that was a dangerous move. Now he's going to drop back down again. He's just trying to be aggressive, but just kind of making those moves a little bit too late. But he's also practicing, just seeing what it takes to block a line, to control the race. And it looks like these guys have said, you know what, I don't really like that. We're going to drop you. We'll see what the bottom line does. It's like Chris Davis is going to pick him up. But yeah, anyway, so once that water temp gets to a certain temperature, it'll start blinking red. And if it's red, you better back off, because you don't get too many of those. Eventually, you get up into the red enough that the engine's going to expire after some point. So don't want to push it too hard, but you do want to see what your car's got in it, how long you can push. That way, when you get down to the end of the race, you know, I gotta start pushing it turn 3, and I can push all the way around to the start-finish line before blowing up. All good stuff to be practicing right here, although we're coming around to 5 laps to go. And I'll tell you what, Matt Cox, aggressive with the blocks. You can see him and Chris Davis getting together, and it's just all wiggling all over the place. So a little bit nervous energy right here as we get down to the end of this stage, but all these guys want to be the stage winner, get those max points. And these guys running in the back, they're going to be happy to see this caution so they can get caught back up. But Warren Young's been out front. Cox was out for just a little bit as Barry Sanders blinks out real quick, but he's going to come right back. Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in here on V Speed. We hope y'all enjoyed the broadcast that we do every week, and a lot of leagues, a lot of things that are going on. I think Bradley Cooper, Morgan Cook of V Speed are actually going to be traveling to Saudi Arabia to unveil a new simulator for VRX simulations. They're going to be doing an esports event out there, so really cool to see V Speed doing some stuff in the real life. Pretty awesome stuff. So glad to have y'all here. Hope y'all enjoy these broadcasts that we put on. I know I have just a blast doing them. It's fun to call these races, and you call leagues like Moonshiners. It makes it easy because these guys put in the work. They make all the action. All I have to do is just tell you what's happening, give you a little bit of insight, something like that. These guys do all the heavy lifting, and it's easy peasy for me. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that like. Little thumbs up there. That helps get Moonshiners up in the algorithm. People can see it. Sponsors we have in the league and on these cars get a little bit more visibility. That's good for everybody. So well, this pack of 15 cars still double file with Warren Young out front. You got to go back 8 seconds to this little second group here, led by Andrew Nieder. And honestly, I mean, these guys just a product of that little bit of incident that kind of broke everybody up. And now they're running back here nose to tail. If they run, nose to tail like this, they can actually be quite a bit faster than the lead pack. They could catch them with 5 cars. And they were 0.4 of a second faster that last lap. So 5 cars is the sweet spot to get it done. So they could definitely catch up if they get in this type of situation again. So kind of a heads up thing for everybody. If you get 5 cars in a single file, that'll be as fast as you can get in the draft. Well, all right, coming down. Got just 3 laps to go in this stage. Don't forget, we got to go all the way around on lap 25 and take lap 26. The top 10 cross the line, then the stage caution comes out. But I'm looking forward to seeing if we can get a non-playoff winner tonight. Somebody to get their first win of the season. Playoff drivers sort of take over once the playoff starts, because obviously that's the big story. I'd love to be able to talk about every single driver every week and highlight them, go into detail, but it's just not possible. Your playoff drivers are going to get a lot of that, but and it's just common sense that you're going to get playoff talk once you get further into the rounds, because the playoff drivers are going to be the ones up front anyway. White flag, though, in stage number 1. Warren Young as the lead at the moment. No big runs coming. As you see down on the bottom, Cox gets broken up from the 74, but here they come. Blaine Wilson going to jump up to the outside. The third lane now with a big run. The middle lane going to break up, and Hunter Carmichael pushing with all that he's got. Down the back straightaway into turn 3. Does anybody have a shot? Blaine Wilson getting a big push. The 13, the 3. Hunter Carmichael's going to bail on the 1. He's going to jump up and block that outside line that has massive momentum. Johnny Shea gets into the wall. Hunter Carmichael with the nose out front. Blaine Wilson going to jump down to the inside. We're 3 wide. The push is on the bottom, though, as they come to the start-finish line at the stripe. It is going to be Matt Cox is going to win stage number 1. What a great last lap there in that stage. That is a lot of fun. That outside line and middle line were really kind of moving around, making a lot of moves, kind of slowed them down like a parachute comes out when that happens. And that bottom line tight with Chris Davis behind him. Push, 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 and then coming through the travel, able to get that victory. We'll take a look at it one more time on the blimp view. Go look a little bit further here. Here That's when Hunter Carmichael dropped Warren Young. Warren Young gets picked up here as they go through the tri-oval. Blaine Wilson's going to make the move down to the inside. I know he'd love to get down to that bottom line, but here they bumping and banging 4 wide as Johnny Shade almost got to him. But the 32 does get it done. So Matt Cox is your stage winner. And we'll see some pit stops here in just a few moments. And then we'll talk to Matt. And we'll get the second stage underway. Well, Brandon Byq will be your lucky dog recipient. So he will go from being 1 lap or 2 laps down to 1. And, you know, with the way the race is, everybody else going to get caught up now. And the way the race is going, I think he'll be in pretty good shape. He's going to get back on the lead lap unless he gets caught up in a wreck. So there he goes. Past the group there, and everybody probably going to come down pit road as Matt Cox going to lead them down. We'll see if we have any 4-tire takers. Like I said, fuel only really is all that's needed. 4 tires do just generally don't wear here. So you know, not necessary to take 4 tires, but you'll see some guys take them. This pit road is very, very busy. And a lot of 4-tire stops. And you see the battle off pit road. I think Matt Cox just barely eked out Randy Mullins. Everybody's finishing up their service. Everybody took 4 tires. Like I said, I don't think it's necessary, but, you know, might as well take them here at the stages. Well, let's bring him up into the booth, and we'll talk to Matt Cox. Matt, congratulations on the stage win, man. We were watching you that first little stage as you were being aggressive, trying to block the lanes, kind of control the race. There at the end, got a big surge down on the bottom as the middle line and outside line kind of breaks up a little bit, able to get that stage win. What's it like out there, man? Are you having a good time?
Yeah, no, having a blast. Yeah, that's all Chris Davis there pushing me up through there. He was pushing like crazy, getting me up to the front there. So big kudos to him. Started in the back and knew I wanted to get to the bottom to kind of ride, and then we're just really waiting for 3 wide to happen to kill that middle lane, and eventually it did. So, yep, all worked out for stage 1.
So you got max points in stage 1. Are you going to go for the same in stage 2? Or are you going to back off a little bit? What's your strategy moving forward?
We're full send, brother.
What a dumb question that was. Well, man, I appreciate you talking to me, man. Good luck in this second stage, and maybe we'll be talking to you at the end of the race.
Yeah, well, anything can happen.
There you go. Well, there he was, Matt Cox, stage number 1 winner. And you heard that. He ain't messing around at all. He's going as hard as he can, staying up front. I don't blame him one bit. Getting ready to go green here, though. They'll get doubled up. And we'll get stage number 2. We're going to race to lap 50. So a little bit shorter stage this time. We'll have just 20 laps to go when we take the green flag here. Well, all those drivers that kind of fell behind now able to get caught up here. Now, I'll tell you what, the next gen car is pretty wild. A lot of the cars you can really kind of hang back a little bit, but the big you know, the next gen punch is such a massive, uh, hole in the air, just the way that the air kind of flows over the car. Your max draft is if you're connected to somebody or just right on their back bumper. And you see these guys get massive runs as they get within 2.5 tenths. That's where the draft is just massive. But before that, man, it's really tough to get a massive run like what you've seen back in the day, where you get a run from 10 car lengths back or something crazy. So you have to be careful on these restarts that you don't hang back too far. You'll see a lot of guys using that strategy of, hey, let's hang in the back, let's miss the wreck, yada, yada. But if you do that on these restarts, you take it a little bit too easy, you could find yourself quickly losing the draft. So you want to make sure that you don't do that. Obviously, with 20 laps wouldn't be a huge problem, but on that final stage, when we go green, definitely want to make sure that you do not make that mistake. So everybody getting caught up here. Like I said, Brandon Bikey still shows 2 laps down, but he should be just 1. So we'll see how that all plays out. Getting ready to go green. Matt Cox with the lead. Randy Mullins. Well, actually, I think maybe Randy Mullins won the battle off pit road, so he'll go through the Geico restart zone. He'll have his teammate behind him, Chris Davis. Green flag back out here at Talladega. Well, down the back straightaway they go. Big push here. Look at this line of cars. They are all over each other. Where are they trying to go? I don't know. That outside line had a massive surge once they kind of jumped up to that top side line, and Matt Cox still leading the inside. But they're going to need a little bit of time to get that momentum going, get that inside line pushed, and maybe even a couple numbers. And I think once you see them start to kind of push forward a little bit, somebody from the outside line will jump down and try to lead it. You can see that outside line is stout at the moment. Teammates, I mean, if you sponsor the damn race, it's called the Ram 300. Damn it, you want to win it. You know, Randy Mullins next week has a great opportunity. There's no doubt when it comes to road courses, Randy Mullins is the name that everybody points to, and with good reason. He's got a ton of wins on road courses. So next week, you know, you may not get an opportunity to win and get in. This is the time, and you do not want to let Randy Mullins win. I'll tell you that right now. If you're trying to lock yourself in the playoffs, you better go get it now, because next week you might not have the opportunity. The Ram locking out the top 2 spots back here. You got Tim Wortman there in 3rd, Blaine Wilson in the 4th position, and Warren Young, who led a lot of laps in stage 1, he's back there in 5th. Need some friends for Warren Young, it looks like. He kind of got left out by himself. Warren Young is on Bad Boy Racing with Aaron Matthews, Brandon Fetterplace, Hunter Carmichael, and Barry Sanders. I don't know if I said his name or not, but he did not have any friends up there in that first stage. Randy Mullins, though, leading the way. I know everybody in chat's really happy to see that. Like I said, not as excited tonight. Trying to give you a little bit of a sexier broadcast here tonight as I try to save my voice just a little bit. Big run coming to the outside. Blaine Wilson's going to jump up there. Then the 2 Ram guys are going to jump back up there to block that run. Now Warren Young and the 38 of Ed Bowles Jr. are going to be in the middle lane, but here comes the bottom finally. Matt Cox, Johnny Shade, Hunter Carmichael on the bottom, getting big pushes. Bottom starting to surge ahead as now the numbers have broken up on the top line. Once you move lanes like that, it starts to sort of a pendulum effect. Matt Cox, with the help of Johnny Shade, going to go out front. They kind of break up a little bit as Cox gets shoved out there. Now the Ram guys go back out front. Barry Sanders with Aaron Matthews now on the middle line. Bad Boy Racing going to get 1, 2, 3 in that middle line and try to get it going. Kelly Coffey said that we need a chart that shows all the teams and names of drivers on each team. I like that. I like that idea. I nominate you to do that. If you do it, I'll throw it up on screen. Matt Cox leads that middle line now as Hunter Carmichael made a move on Johnny Shea to go to that middle line. And Cox going to jump up there, and there's Jordan Schmeets. Below the cutoff, needs a good race here tonight, needs some stage points, and here he is. Look how much space you can put on the pack if you get 2 or 3 guys working together. It's so hard to do that. Imagine what's happening here. These guys running nose to tail, and they live hundreds, maybe thousands of miles apart. Their inputs are being converted into ones and zeros, sent across the internet to a server, and it's all being done in a split second, and they're able to run nose to tail like they do in real life. How crazy is sim racing? And now look at them, 3 wide for the lead. Well, that quickly fell apart. Now Barry Sanders out front, right in front of Randy Mullins. Kelly Coffey, just make them up, I guess. I don't know. If only you had somebody you knew, somebody you were cheering for that was an admin in this league, that you'd get something done. If you knew somebody in the league that could do something like that, you just knew somebody, make it happen. But this has been some really good racing. It's interesting to see how far folks have been able to push other drivers out. These lines have been 3, 4, 5 cars in length and a lot of separation. But everybody doing a good job. Out of all the leagues that I broadcast, this is the most realistic looking pack that I've seen. As you can see, some guys maybe feeling like the pack's a little bit nervous. As soon as I brag on them, here we go. Tim Wortman Jr. going through the middle of the track. Got left out to dry 4 wide. He's going to jump up in that outside line. He's going to settle in 21st. But out of all the leagues, I mean, a lot of times you'll have one-eyed fella out there that'll be bouncing around and get taken 3 wide, don't know what to do, and just kind of get the shakes and start to go back and forth and wreck the whole field. But you can see the skill level of these guys right here. It's pretty incredible. Able to consistently push as hard as they are and race, make these moves that they're making. You see Jordan Schmeets trying to go up there, maybe block a line, just could not quite get there. And now that middle line just kind of falls apart as he kind of broke it up there. So of course, these guys are running open setups, which does help kind of spread the field out just a little bit. Some folks set up, and I'll admit, I don't mind admitting I've had a lot of experience on iRacing, but when it comes to open setups, I left that train a long time ago. And normal setups are pretty common now at super speedways. I'm not quite sure what the tricks are when it comes to setting up a next-gen car on the super speedway. So I don't know what the kind of tricks you might have up your sleeve. I know a lot of these guys probably just go to a setup shop. Some of these guys go to the Kenny Coppola setup shop. I'll tell you a quick story. iRacing, of course, has been around for a long time, but there used to be a little trick you could do, and there's a reason. In these cars, you can make some in-car adjustments when you're racing an open setup lead. You can make some tire pressure adjustments, track bar, wedge. Oh my goodness, is Justin Belmont thought they almost had a wreck there as Belmont kind of got out of line. But anyway, you can make those adjustments in pits, and because there used to not be any fixed setup, it was all open setups. You had to have a setup. Well, back in the day, you could turn the wedge forever. You could turn it all the way down, all the way up, and so folks would make setups that would pass tech inspection, and then you go down the pit road on the first pit stop, and you crank the wedge and put that right rear all the way down to the ground. And you go into pits, you're like a parachute out there, can't hardly keep up. You go in and out pit road to come out, and you would be flying. So if you're wondering why you can only do 3% wedge either way, well, that's why. So a lot of tricks can be done in these cars. You know, iRacing has definitely kind of chewed up some of them, kept them from being, especially the next gen cars. Oh, somebody's down on the bottom. That's a 34. Oh, here we go. They're wrecking. This time a caution is going to come out. As I can't see, it looks like Jeff Carson. Oh, going to come right up in front of who I don't know, because they've got a different car than what I'm used to. It's some BMP car, but it's like Jeffrey Taylor is who it is, as we have our first natural caution of the night. And it started when the 38 went down below the yellow line, I think. It's like it's, I don't know where it's going to come from here. It might be the 34. Oh, yeah, you can see a little check up there on the bottom. And once that happens, not much you can do about it. It's just going to be bumper cars from there on out. Take a look at it again. You're going to see that bottom line just going to check up right here. And then, boom, Feder Play's going to go down to the inside, and then Jeff Carson kind of bleeds down below the yellow, and then kind of blends back up into the field. And caution going to come out after that one. He is going to be on pit road. And I'm definitely not going to see anybody come down pit road unless you plan on flipping the stage. And we do have some folks that are doing it. Matt Cox going to come down pit road. Johnny Shade, Nigel Christensen, Ryan Huff, Jeffrey Taylor, Nick King. Among others, Caden Norfree going to come down pit road. Get some fuel. That way they can flip the stage most likely. See the battle off pit road between those two drivers. But Justin Belmont has the lead at the moment. He's able to get up front, and he's been riding around the back. Actually lost the draft in stage one. Was part of that group that was kind of running by themselves. So this is a good position for Belmont. He needs those points. He needs them desperately. He needed some in stage one, but now that he is here, he came in just +7 above the cutoff. So if he can get a stage one win here, that would be pretty good for him if he can kind of pull it off. I may not have a graphic for teams, but I could tell y'all who's on the team. I would leave up a graphic the whole time showing the teams and whatnot, but I can call them out right here. You got Bad Boy Racing, which has got Aaron Matthews, Barry Sanders, Brendan Fetterplace, Hunter Carmichael, and Warren Young. Alex Coffey, Blaine Wilson, Caden Norfree, Johnny Shade, Nigel Christensen are on Dig Esports. For Warrior Racing, you got Ed Bowles Jr., Jamison Middle Miss, Justin Belmont, Nick King, Ryan Huff, and Tim Wortman Jr. Then you got Ram Motorsports. They've been out front a lot tonight. Chris Davis, Randy Mullins. And then you got a couple BMP teams, but they all hang out in the same Discord, so I don't know which one is which as far as who's on what, but that involves Andrew Niedert, Brandon Bikey, Darren Mills, Jeffrey Taylor, Jordan Schmeets, Kenny Coppola, Matt Cox, Paul Gallimore, and Shane Davis. So Kelly and Tonisha, hopefully y'all were writing that down so you can make us a graphic. All right, we are doubled up, getting ready to go green here for about a 5-6 lap shootout for stage number 2. And then let the games begin after that. Boy, that is going to be a fun final stage to see the strategy and who does what. Maybe we get some green flag stops. That'd be pretty sweet. Update on Brandon Bikey is rolling back around. Couple drivers there. I don't know if Randy Mullins had some damage, if he was part of that wreck or if something else happened, but Randy Mullins was on pit road for about a minute and 57 seconds, so I don't know what that's about, but unless I just missed him being a part of that wreck. I mean, there's a lot of folks involved, but he had gone down. But Brandon Bikey now just one lap down, although he will be fighting Jared Clark out of this one. So gets to the stage, Bikey will be back on the lead lap, and he'll be able to get back to the front after that early incident. Put him a lap down. All right, here we go. Six laps to go. Justin Belmont with control of the restart into the Geico restart zone. Look at the big gap on that third row as they were all hanging back, and Belmont now takes a big jump. And he is in trouble. That inside line's going to get a big run here. We'll see if he can block it. The outside's already wound up and going to go around him. He's going to fall back to this middle groove. What are they going to do? Get right to his bumper. Aaron Matthews does and now starts to push. That inside line will take about half a lap to get rolling here as that outside line has gotten some momentum there. They kind of cheat down to the middle. Here comes Paul Gallimore on the outside. And Ed Bowles Jr. going to jump down to the inside. But Warren Young getting pushed by Hunter Carmichael. I'm going to tell you this right now. If I'm at the end of this race, I want that 3-car pushing me. He has been an insane pusher so far. And he is doing work yet again. Is they're way out there. Now everybody's pretty much up to speed as they near 200 miles an hour. Barry Sanders hits 200 miles an hour. Going into turn number 1. Now that outside line is rolling. He gets hit from Paul Gallimore into Ed Bowles Jr. and they're wrecking again. Off the bumper of Paul Gallimore. Barry Sanders goes around, and we have another big one. We saw it happen. We'll watch the replay again, but it was just a bad push you see right there. And it was all, I mean, Justin Belmont involved. Quite a few playoff drivers involved in that one. They had a head of steam, and you can see that kind of slide across the back bumper of the 88. Chris Davis involved there. Johnny Shea getting a little bit more, multiple drivers there. Matt Cox was right in front of it. The 15 of Alex Coffey, they barely just missed it. Kenny Coppola get a little extra there. Everybody else able to get through, but Belmont got some damage. Hopefully it's not too bad. A little bit of front end damage. He gets kind of hit from behind. You see the crinkle there on that left front. But that will be the end of the stage. And I do believe Warren Young was out front. And I do believe he will be your stage winner. So congratulations to Warren Young. So they will come down pit road and get tires and fuel. We'll see if any of those that just came down pit road, Caden Norfree and those, will they come down as well? They are. So everybody going to come down and get some service on pit road. Kelly Coffee says, thank you for the team info. Barry is the graphics. Wow. People want stuff. They always pawn it off on somebody else. Just unbelievable. Adcock's going to win the battle off pit road. And why did he do that? Well, that's because he came down earlier. On that last caution, came down pit road, so he only had to put 4.2 seconds of fuel. And that's going to work out perfect for him. And in real life, that would be a great call. Here on iRacing, you've seen it's the ability to maneuver these cars, get up to the front. It's not that difficult. But either way, still good. You can stay up towards the front. Good thing. Let's talk to Warren Young if we can. We'll get him up in here and talk to him about that stage win. We always like to talk to the stage winner. And Warren Young, let's head in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Man, I don't know. You tell me. That's why I brought you up in here, because I want to know what's going on out there. You're on the track, and you've been up front a lot of this race. You led a lot of laps, 19 so far. That car seems to like to be out front. Just need a little bit of friends from time to time. How's that car driving? What do you need to do to kind of secure this victory here tonight?
Yeah, it is. It's driving really smooth. It feels really good in traffic, out front especially. You said it, man. You just got to have friends, and you got to watch the runs and just be ready for them, because it's about to get wild. I can guarantee you that.
Well, we still got a long way to go, so obviously a pit stop is something you're going to be thinking about. You know, saving fuel, all that kind of stuff. Strategy going to play a big part into stage 3. What's your plan moving forward here in this final stage?
As long as we don't have cautions, probably run it out, and then probably do left sides and fuel. It's what we've done most of the week. Just gives you a little bit of grip getting off of pit road, because you know you got to hit that as fast as you can. So just try to play it out with the cautions and get there when we can.
All right, well, there you have it. Stage 2 winner is Warren Young, and I appreciate him talking to us. And that's some great info. I mean, that's the kind of info we like to see in the booth. All about taking left side tires. That way you can get a better run off of pit road on that apron. It is slippery and tough to get off there when you're trying to do it under green flag conditions. So I like that info. That's the good stuff we like, and Warren Young bringing it here tonight. Well, all right, going to take the green flag here on lap 50. Still have 63 laps to go. He says it's going to get wild here, and I'm curious. You know, with it being 63 laps to go, I'm not real sure how many laps they can make it on fuel. Can you save enough to make it a 1-stop, or will you need to 2-stop it? We'll see what they decide to do. We'll see how hard they're driving. That'll be a pretty telltale sign. I would have to imagine betting against a caution happening probably a bad move. Well, Matt Cox, Paul Gallimore will be the front row on this restart. You got Hunter Carmichael and Warren Young in that second row. Warren says it's about to get wild. We're going to find out here as pace car getting ready to pull off. And I want to see some green flag stops, man. I love teamwork at these plate tracks. I want to see it play out. I want to see that strategy, who can pull the best strategy, who can come down as a team, get on and off pit road. I want to see it all, so hopefully we get to see it. But green flag back out as Matt Cox leads the way. Down into turn one, Hunter Carmichael continues. I mean, he's not even on the screen anymore. Him and Matt Cox is Carmichael just pushing the hell out of it. Down the back straightaway still with about 3/4 of a second gap as the pack starts to slowly reel them back in. Tim Wortman Jr. down on the bottom. Gets a big shove. Jamison middle miss in that 16 car. And they're now getting caught up. Little rubber band. You think of it like a rubber band. You get out far ahead in the draft, and that band tightens up, and then the back part of that rubber band will just come forward. It's exactly what this is like. Wortman going to go to the outside. Jump up in front of that outside line. Got Randy Mullins leading that one. Oh, man, is Gallimore going to come through the middle? Big push there as they go down the back straightaway. Gallimore going to duck down to the bottom line now. He is trying to gain some track position. It looks like his Tim Wortman Jr. middleman is not really sure where they want to go. Indecisiveness will be the death of you here at Talladega, so you got to make that move, and you got to make it quickly. See a lot of guys moving around. You can see that kind of breaks up all these lines. We had 3 distinct lines, and now not quite that, as we're 4 wide back here for just a second. Well, up front, it's Matt Cox single file for the most part. Tim Wortman going to pull out here. He's going to get a run. He's going to take it. He's got a little bit of help behind him, but not going to be enough to get to the front. Although the 9 of Jeffrey Taylor is being aggressive here. Now, Coffey going to pull up in front of him, get a big shove from Tim Wortman Jr. And Jeffrey actually has to come off of Wortman. It slows him down so bad. And now Wortman going to be in the inside by himself as Randy Mullins, Chris Davis working together, teammates. That inside line completely collapses now as Coffey jumps back down to that inside line. Big run coming from Warren Young. Gonna have to settle behind the 54 as he gets turned. The 54 down into Matt Cox. Another wreck. The Ruckin down the back straightaway. Alice Coffey involved. Barry Sanders, Paul Gallimore involved again. Multiple drivers. And we saw it play out right there. Bad push for the 54. And I think Randy Mullins' night is done. So your points leader outside of Kenny Coppola with the win, your regular season champ. He has a 60-something point advantage. This is exactly what you didn't need to happen. Now, a major point advantage is going to partly vanish. Let's see just what happened. Just a bad push. I mean, I really wouldn't even say a bad push. The one just gets to his back bumper, and it's just that accordion effect as Aaron Matthews gets in the back bumper at the exact same time. And I mean, I do think that that push did kind of get to the right rear going board with Warren Young, so we can kind of watch this. And it looks like he does kind of get pushed there right on the right rear. Right here. And that's what gets him out of shape. Then all hell breaks loose, and Warren Young actually gets turned himself after the fact right into the inside retaining wall. So caution back out on the speedway, and here at Talladega with no fast repair, it can quickly get out of hand once folks start dropping out. But right now, I mean, obviously, Randy Mullen's a big story. Came into the race, you see there, plus 67, so he is still fine. I mean, there's only 31 drivers in this race, he's gonna come away being completely fine, and then going into the next week in the Roval, it's still the 54 is in a great spot. He earned the ability to have a bad race here at Talladega, and a bad race he's having now. He is trying to fix this thing. He had to get towed and try to get some damage fixed, get back out there. That's what you got to do. He needs every point he can get. But this will be, if he does finish in 28th, it's going to be a significant hit to his that points lead he does have. And so he has another bad race at the Roval, something just out of whack that could be dangerous. So I still think he's fine. He can afford this, I do believe. But you don't want it to be happening. You don't want to be the first one to kind of go out like this. So tough deal for the 54. You can see Paul Gallimore down on pit road. He's been trying to stay on the lead lap, get as much damage fixed as he can. Caden Norfrey now coming out of pit road. So a lot of damaged cars in that one. Gallimore, a playoff driver, so he's got to stay with it. Can't give up. So far, he's come down pit road a couple times, just trying to stay on the lead lap. He doesn't want to go a lap down. That'd be pretty rough. It looks like Warren Young trying to do the same thing as they see the pace car is coming behind him, so gonna try to get back out there and stay on the lead lap. Matt Cox was involved, another playoff driver. He also couldn't afford to have a bad race like this. He was only 26 points above the cutoff line. So winning that first stage was a pretty big deal there for him. But this is going to hurt his chances. Now he's going to be a couple laps down. So a couple playoff drivers up out front, racing hard, get caught up here. Now they're trying to get these cars fixed, get back out there. Kenny Coppola is going to have the lead, as we did get the one to green, so we'll go back green next time by. And Coppola, Aaron Matthews is going to be the front row. Well, when Warren Young said it was going to be wild, he wasn't playing around. That did kind of surprise me how aggressive they were being there. So many laps to go. I feel like a lot of times in these races, once you get to this final stage, you just want to ride and start to click off laps and kind of build to that crescendo, those final few laps. Keep yourself in position. We did see some folks come back down pit road on the second lap to get some fuel. The strategy still continues to play a role here as everybody's thinking about fuel, trying to find out where they trying to get as much fuel packed in there as they can. Pace car going to pull off. Coppola with the lead here on lap 56. Not We were just under halfway. We're going to click over halfway here as they cross the stripe. Still a long way to go in this race. Green flag back out. Coppola getting a nice push here from Jordan Schmeets down on the bottom. See a couple drivers bailing on the bottom line almost immediately. They come disconnected, so the outside line should get a pretty nice push here. We'll see what Kenny decides to do, if he tries to block it or not. He does pull up and block that line, so he'll control both those. It's going to cause some guys to scatter back here as 3 cars get hooked up. Tim Wortman, Aaron Matthews, Kenny Coppola, they kind of get hooked up, pull away from the pack as the pack just kind of breaks up as everybody was moving around trying to find where they wanted to be. Now 2 by 2. 7th on back. You got 3 cars out here by themselves. Basically back to the old tandem drafting. Man, that was so much fun back in the day. 2 cars getting hooked up. They'd have to swap. The old car tomorrow was exciting. Can't do that anymore, though. They're going to back it up, and here comes the pack. Jamison Middleman is going to look down to the inside. He's going to bring Nick King along with him. The 24 of Ryan Huff, who we haven't really talked about here tonight. But he is right behind the 12, and they're making that inside line work. It has got a big run as Aaron Matthews is going to jump down and take control of that line. See a lot of movement out of these cars right now. A bit of wiggling back and forth. It's never good, especially when they are locked bumpers. One little wrong wiggle and you can get hooked right up into the field. Kenny Coppola now out front as they getting ready to cross over into lap 60. On board with Tim Warman and watch him. This is exactly what you want to do. Look how calm he looks. Very little movement as he's pushing Kenny Coppola out there. He's getting right to the back bumper. Look how locked they are. Not weaving back and forth, just giving him a light push. That momentum up, carry a lot of speed. Well, look who it is, back up into the fray. That's Brandon Bikey in that 27 car. He has gotten back on the lead lap after that early incident where he lost the draft. Kind of got turned sideways. 2 or 3 drivers involved in that one. Goes down pit road, goes down a couple laps, and now he is back up inside the top 10. Did not take long at all. No surprise there to see Brandon Bikey get back up to the front. That's all these stage breaks. You got to stick with it here. Coppola still holds on to the lead. Bottom line really not working at the moment. See Chris Davis kind of move out of the line. Everybody kind of standing out here. I don't know what that's all about, but see the whole pack kind of gets broken up, and I don't know what happened there. Maybe somebody saw a car get a little bit loose or make contact with the wall. I don't know. And everybody kind of got scared, which does happen. So now we're almost single file as the pack now really spread out. This is first all the way back to 20th. You got to go back here. You got Darren Mills back here by himself, and then the group behind them, Johnny Shade, getting pushed by Caden Norfrey. They are way back, almost 6 seconds back off of the pack, almost 7 now, actually. So they're drafting around Darren Mills. Well, if we're going to see some fuel saving, I think this is where we'll see it. If you're going to do it, and I'm not quite sure any of these guys are going to do some fuel saving. But if you do have a green flag stop, and Matt Cox has shown that that's going to get you out ahead. So if you're a team of drivers, you obviously don't want to lose the main pack. But if you're a team of drivers, you know, as much as the more fuel you save, the less fuel you have to put in when you come down pit road. There won't be any tires unless it's left sides, but like what Warren Young told us. But I don't know. I think the less time you can spend on pit road, the better. You can get out there, you can get 5 cars hooked up, you can run away with this thing. I've seen many of plate races where that's happened. So it's possible. So you want to save as much as you can. You can really control this race. And there's some folks who run super speedway money races, and they'll be some of the tightest group of guys you've ever seen as far as strategy goes, how they work together. And I'm telling you right now, if you can get a bunch of guys together, at least 5, and work really well, make the right calls, work as a unit, you can dominate here at Talladega if you get some green flag stops. So we're going to see if we're going to have some of that. As you can see, a lot of action going on up here as everybody's still moving around, trying to find where they fit in this pack. And now we're back to being 2x2. You see a 3-car little train led by Jameson Middlemiss as that outside line just blows past Kenny Coppola as the middle line is just dying here. I wonder if Kenny being out front was like, you know what, I really don't want to be using as much gas as I have been. Wortman, though, going to push him back out there. Hunter Carmichael's been pushing folks all night long. Now this time he's going to get himself a push. He's going to take that number 3 Dale Earnhardt replica car out to the front. Well, this season has been really incredible. Been some of the best racing that I have seen on iRacing in a league. You know, it started off pretty rough. We had a few races like Martinsville and Richmond that were high up on the caution count. Just tough races to get through. But the last half of this season has been pretty fun to watch. Lots of strategy, lots of speed, lots of really exciting finishes. You see Coppola getting a big push there from Tim Wortman Jr. Get right next to the leader, but they'll come apart and fall back just a little bit. But, man, it's been so much fun to watch these races, and it seems like it keeps getting better and better as the stakes kind of get higher and higher. I'm really pumped to see how the next 4 or 5 races kind of play out. I mean, the next round's going to be awesome. It's probably one of the best rounds you can ask for outside of Martinsville. Martinsville for a cutoff race is just nasty. But you got Las Vegas, which always puts on a good show. Homestead, of course. And then you got your final 4 will be racing at Phoenix. And we're not far away, just a little bit over 30 days. We're crowning a champion here in the OB Builders Cup Series. Who's it going to be? You know, I think a lot of folks probably say Randy Mullins has got a great opportunity. And I think if we were under the old point system format, I would say Randy Mullins, obviously, is going to be your champion. He has been best over a season for sure. Oh, my goodness, it's Bikey. Belmont spins out. And caution going to come out on the speedway as Middle Miss is sideways as well. So caution comes out. They're back here running 3 wide. I don't know what happened. Oh, the 16 of Middle Miss gets a little bump there from the 12. It kind of pushes him up the track. They squish the 6. And playoff driver Justin Belmont having even more trouble. I don't think the damage was too bad there. Come up in front of him. Or more with Nick King. Kind of watch that bump happen. Gonna get real close to him right here. They just kind of get out of sync coming off the corner. Man, Mikey almost cleared out the 24 Ryan Hub. Very close for those drivers. So back under caution. I'm sure we'll see folks come down pit road here. You do not want to stay out. You want to get as much fuel as you can. We'll see a lot of fuel only here. So while the tire guys get to take a break. But we were able to click off quite a few laps there as see Hunter Carmichael and Mortman Jr. Couple drivers taking those tires. Kenny Coppola gonna lose quite a few spots, but Tim Mortman comes out. Hunter Carmichael, Brandon Fetter place, Barry Sanders, Andrew Nieder, Alex Coffey, Nigel Christensen, Chris Davis, all taking fuel only. Few drivers giving up that track position for a set of tires. Could give you a little bit of security, but you know, I don't know. Tires really don't make too much of a difference, but take a look at the track temp. Yeah, the track temp is only 88 degrees. I don't see tires really playing a factor in this one. Well, I want to thank Ram Motorsports for their sponsorship of tonight's race. The Ram Welding and Fabrication 300 at Talladega. Also want to thank OB Builders for their sponsorship of the Cup Series. And all of the admins out there do a lot of work, put this thing on. It is a fun series under caution. It is our third caution of the night. 2 stage breaks, 3 natural cautions. Well, actually, I guess it's 4 because the stage 2 was a caution on the track. So more folks coming down pit road, getting fuel only. do get the one to green. And we're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Well, back here at Talladega, as we are getting ready to go back green the field, getting caught up after getting that extra little bit of fuel in the tanks. See everybody sitting there kind of single file. This could be an interesting restart if everybody is not able to get caught up. Possibility of losing the draft is definitely possible here if you're not caught up. Look at that single file on the bottom for everybody pitting. So you want to get close as you can here, because this is very, very dangerous for some drivers. You could find yourself losing the draft very quickly. So they're kind of hoping these guys will continue to run side by side up front. But if I'm up front right now, I'm getting in a line and I'm pushing with all that I've got, as many drivers as I can, and try to break this draft up, because this could be dangerous. You could already see a couple guys back here. Justin Belmont, Darren Mills, these guys in danger of losing the draft if they're not able to push as hard as they can and get caught up. So big restart here, although they are getting single file or double file up front. That will help them catch back up, as Alex Coffey with a push from Ed Bowles Jr. going to go out to the front here. A second group able to get caught back up. We're all single file at the front, but here comes some drivers on the outside. You got the 18 of Blaine Wilson with Hunter Carmichael. Hunter Carmichael definitely is the best pusher I've seen all night long. He can make stuff happen with that front bumper, and he has been doing it. And I think he's going to push that 18 right to the lead. He absolutely is. Big run. And the 18 going to pull down in front of his teammate. But Hunter Carmichael has a big enough run there. Even after Blaine dropped down to the bottom, he's going to lead that lap. So Hunter Carmichael comes way from the back of the pack all the way to the front. Got the right paint scheme for it, that's for sure. They get broken up front. Now Matt Cox pushing Barry Sanders. Some damage on that 88. It's not bothering him one bit. Big shove down into turn 3. Aaron Matthews electing to drop down to the bottom in front of that inside line so he can lead that one. And then here comes Barry Sanders down to the bottom. So teammates working together. Got to control these lines, but this is the type of racing that we want to see out of real life NASCAR at these tracks, specifically Talladega, Daytona. The ability to make moves, get to the front. People will tell me, yeah, well, they were 4 wide, and yeah, folks were able to get to the front. But when they're running full throttle, it's just not possible in real life. Here it is. saw at the end of that race, it was just two distinct lines. That's all that could make anything happen. If you weren't in that first two rows, you weren't going to win the race. Not like that here. They can get that outside line moving. Right now, though, everybody at the back, I think, probably saving a little bit of fuel here. It'll be tight. I don't know if they can make it all the way. I can't imagine they could. How likely it is we'll get there without a caution seems to be unlikely. Haven't had a green flag pit stop here tonight. Now, talking about Matt Cox, Johnny Shade is actually the leader at the moment, as Matt Cox is multiple laps down. The 32 is actually running in the 28th position. 7 laps down, but out here leading this field, having fun. That's what he's here to do. Hell, you pay $15 a month for iRacing. Might as well go up here and have some fun. And try to get as many of these laps back as you can. You never know when you might gain a couple points by doing this. So caution comes out. He doesn't need the lucky dog. He'll get a lap back. So I don't blame it one bit. As long as you're helping folks and being useful in the draft, people don't really care how many laps down you are at a plate track. At a regular track, maybe so, but here at Talladega, it's not that way. See the line of cars that's on the bottom. You don't see those big pushes anymore. What does that tell you, viewers? Saving fuel. On board with Hunter Carmichael. You don't see him pushing anymore. Getting in that draft, lifting off the throttle. You hear him lift just a little bit right there. He'll get to the bumper, but he's lifting. If that car will kind of ease forward a little bit, he'll lift off the gas a little bit. So saving fuel now. So you know they probably have to go make another stop. But some of these guys might be close. I just don't know what the fuel run. Normally it's around 27 laps, but I'm not quite sure. So a lot of fuel saving going on right now. Jordan Schmeet's there on the outside, not interested in saving any kind of fuel. Trying to go around those guys that are hanging back here. This whole back of the pack seems like it's taking it easy. But here comes Nigel Christensen, Caden Orfrey, Alex Coffey. They're on the bottom. $17 gets a big push. Gonna clear himself out front. Excuse me. A little behind baseball or inside baseball there. Well, this season has been a very competitive one where in NASCAR they had, I think, 18 different winners. but Moonshiners has definitely been a little top heavy for the most part. Alex Coffey has 4 wins on the season. Matt Cox as well has 2 wins. Brandon Bikey with the most at 5, I do believe. He has had just an incredible season. Chris Davis has a win on the season. Tim Wortman, we talked about him breaking a really long winless streak and gets his win. Randy Mullins with 3, obviously the regular season champion. Been pretty lights out. Blaine Wilson got a win at Bristol to lock himself in. Was out. He had to win. Must win situation. What a great race that was. A great ending. Took tires on a final green white checkered, able to take the victory. So much fun to watch that play out. He is still alive here in this round, getting that win. Paul Gallimore has 2 wins of his own this season. George Schmeets with 1. Kenny Coppola had tied Brandon Bikey for 5 last week. So both those drivers with 5 wins. Kyle Holden no longer here, but he has 3 wins on the season. Shane Davis with the 1. You go back here to some guys that we don't see anymore, either left or fallen out, decided not to come back. As Caden Norfrey will go to the outside there of Jameson Middle Miss. Got a little bit hairy there for a second. They were able to hang on to it. But yeah, Sean Rogers and Chad Sullivan, they both had 2 wins, no longer here. Lace Crawford had a win earlier in the season. So a lot of winners here. But Brandon Bikey, Coppola have kind of been the big boys as far as wins go. They account for 10 out of the 30 races that we've done. But a lot of opportunity for a first-time winner at Talladega, as always. Will we see one? I hope so. That'd be cool. Be cool to see somebody get their first win of the season here at Talladega. Might be one of the last opportunities to get it, as these tracks coming up are going to require you to be at the top of your game. That's for dang sure. Well, we had Warren Young out here leading races. Actually won a stage, but he is about to go a lap down as the lead pack does catch up to him, as they kind of shoot right on past. You're going to hold that bottom line. If you're Suarez, you go up the track here, you jump in front of that lane, then you go back up in the other lane, you wreck. But Warren Young, no Suarez, he's going to stay right there on the bottom. Let everybody kind of go by. Made me a little nervous there. But he goes a lap down. Well, Johnny Shade's still out front with Matt Cox in front of him, just pushing him out there, trying to hang on to this top spot as everybody positioning themselves for the end of this race. As Bikey jumps out of line for a second, comes right back in. It's just wild here at Talladega. You can just feel the intensity where it's at. When it goes away right now, it just, everything feels easy. You don't see anybody really doing anything nervous at all. Just seems calm right now. I mean, Bikey's kind of jumping out of line, moving from the bottom to the top. But outside of that, no big pushes, no aggressive blocking. Just guys just riding and taking it easy, saving a little bit of fuel. Clicking off laps. When you have 113 laps, I mean, gosh, the only one that matters, the only 3 that matter are the end of stage number 1, stage number 2, and the final lap. Outside of that, yeah, you can get up there and push somebody to the front, have some fun. But at some point, you kind of have to just settle in and say, you know what, let's just get to the finish. You can see Coppola pushing Tim Wortman Jr. right up alongside of the 32 of Matt Cox, and they'll push themselves out to the lead But at some point here at Talladega, you have to click off laps. It's got to get to the end of this thing. On board with Jeffrey Taylor. You can hear the constant lifts, just the slight breathing of the throttle, just to keep off of the car in front of him, but also save a little bit of fuel. At other tracks, you can actually go down to the corner, hold the clutch down, let the RPMs drop out. I've actually seen some folks at certain tracks cut the car off to try to save as much fuel as possible. Here in the draft, you can't do that, but you can breathe the throttle just a little bit. Just hold the throttle about 60, 70, sometimes 80%. Start to fall back a little bit, just kind of push it down a little bit more, and then once you get to the draft like that right there, just kind of back off. Save as much as you can. Well, like I was saying, you can see just not that much movement going on. Everybody playing nice here. See the 12 kind of looking down to the middle lane. Oh! Middle miss goes around. Right as I said, it was calm. He spins down to the inside. Will there be a caution? No caution out yet. We stay green. Just talking about how calm it was. And then boom. Some contact. Watch the 16 here. He's got Matt Mackin, Shane Davis behind him. This is where it gets to the back bumper. You can see just a little of accordion effect here. Kind of gets everybody checked up, and Matt Mackin gets to that left rear and spins out the 16. And now he is all by himself, 20 seconds back from the pack. He might win the damn race if that happens, because they have a big wreck here. He might be able to avoid it. Well, that kind of separated the group. You can see just everybody kind of went all over the place here. Now the outside line starting to get back rolling. Tim Mortman still out front. Do they have to pit or not? That is the question that I can't wait to get figured out. But, man, look at them, 3 wide. As soon as that happened, they'll kind of get wild again. Now Matt Cox goes down to the inside. Still multiple laps down. But up here racing. Oh, man. Makes a big move there. Golly, I thought that was going to be a big one. They must have heard me. They heard me say calm, and they said, no, we're not going to be calm. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead. 20 laps to go in this race. Now's the time. Have they saved enough fuel? Do they have to pit? I still feel like they have to pit, but it's going to be close. Right now, they're 23, 22 laps into this tank of fuel. They have to pit. There's no way they're making 40 laps. I don't think you can save enough to do 42 laps on fuel here at Talladega in the next shit car. Oh, they might not have to as the 12 gets hit by Ed Bowles Jr. Able to save it, though. Great save out of the 12 of Nick King. The heart stopper right there. If you were dead, that'd bring you back to life. When do they come down pit road? Reed Williams says, woo, late to the party, but here in time to see the 15 win. Well, it is still a possibility. Alex Coffey, though, running back in the 22nd position, riding here in the back, saving a little bit of fuel. When do they come down pit road? That's the question at the moment. Still waiting for that to be answered. Everybody's seeming to kind of be down on that bottom line. That usually is an indication a pit stop's coming. Whenever you see that kind of grouping there on the bottom, the outside lines really don't have much going on. That's folks getting ready to come down pit road. And if they do, this is the money stop of all money stops. So incredibly difficult. You got to get slowed down with a bunch of cars behind you. You want your teammates with you. Get down to 55 miles an hour. Get into your stall. Take as little fuel as you need to get to the end. And get back out on track. Any couple of pushes. Matt Cox way out there, so this pack is going to close in quickly. It's like drafty car out there. You see the pack joining him. They're going to close up here as they go down the back straightaway. Barry Sanders with Aaron Matthews on his bumper, pushing that outside line. '77 again, giving a big push. Gonna push Matt Cox out there. Nick King going to get stuck in the middle here. He's going to drop back quickly without any help. You can see what it looks like when you don't have any friends all the way to the back. Right now, if you do have to make a stop, you're telling your teammates, guys, we got to get down. I'm going to go left. You go right. Kind of do a little zipper where you don't run into the back of each other. You don't want to hit each other, spin out. You really don't want to be the first ones to come down pit road because you'll be the ones that make the mistake. And the others will be able to stay out on the track. Oh, big wobble out of the 32 of Matt Cox. Gets really out of shape off of turn 4. Matt Mackin has come down pit road as these guys 28, 29 laps now on this tank of fuel. How many more can they go? When they cross the stripe, 13 laps to go, 14 actually. Watching this big push from the 5 to the 88. Here comes Hunter Carmichael. Big shove down the back straightaway. Oh, they get all kind of. Oh, this is a caution waiting to happen right here. Everybody kind of getting. Here they go. Oh, here comes Matt Cox off the track. Nobody else going with him. They catch up with some lap traffic here. That's Jamison middle miss, who we saw get spun. Gonna go down on the apron. Everybody gonna go around. Big props to Jamison. He could have stayed there on the track, made them pass him, but elects to stay down on the apron, let him race it out. Well, I'm very surprised that I haven't seen him come down pit road. So I'm starting to wonder. I just don't think I've never seen in Talladega anybody go 42 laps, but you know, I've been wrong many a times, and I could be wrong now. Well, with Matt Cox out of the picture, Kenny Coppola with the lead now. Still leading that inside line. Barry Sanders in that second line. You had Nigel Christensen out there leading the third line, but it's sort of broken up at this point. Well, when they come to the stripe, it's 10 laps to go in this race. Do they have enough fuel to make it to the end? They are now 34 laps on fuel, and here comes the 32. 8 laps down, he's going to stay on the track. They're going to go around it 4 wide. Almost contact with Nigel. Belmont puts him into the wall. Basically, we stayed green, though. No contact. He's still up against the wall. And here comes Alex Coffey, jumping up to the outside to try to battle with Kenny Coppola. At this point, I think you can make it all the way. I'm so daggum surprised that they can go over 40 laps on fuel. But I haven't seen anybody come down pit road just yet, just a couple drivers. So I think they are good. Here on lap 105 out of 113, I think we're going to the finish here. Coffey out in front. He's got Nigel Christensen and the 6, Justin Belmont, behind him, helping him. Coppola, though, has the Chris Davis in 74. Doesn't have a teammate, so he's going to lock on the bumper of 77, Kenny Coppola. And now it's starting to get tight up here. A lot of movement going on right now. Are people still saving fuel? Can they make it? Can they make it enough to have a green-white checker? There's one in this series. Do you have enough fuel? We see a few people being aggressive. What about these others? Can everybody make it on fuel? That's the question. I'm going to be honest with you. I've just never seen them make it this far. We saw people saving fuel, so we know that they were close. We saw Hunter Carmichael saving fuel early in this run. What's going to happen? But it looks like we're going all the way to the finish. Coffee out front. Six laps to go at Talladega. The intensity just doesn't feel there. I wonder how close they are on fuel because I just don't feel the intensity building with just so few laps to go. Alex Coffey, Nigel Christensen have been in the back. Have they saved enough fuel that they can be aggressive here? Because they're really not being challenged at the moment. Still a long way to go, though. I mean, there is still a lot of laps as Chris Davis now pushing the 77. You see Hunter Carmichael there on the outside line. 3 distinct lines now as these 3 cars are kind of on an island. The 34. Brandon Fetterplace pushing Hunter Carmichael. Belmont going to jump up in front to lead that outside line. Little bobble from Jordan Schmeets there on that bottom line. Again, big push from the 17. Tell you what, if I'm on the track right now, I'm finding that 3. I want to be Justin Belmont right now. I got the 3 pushing me. That's what I want. Golly, can they make it on fuel? It's going to be so close. They cross the line. 109 out of 113. I know I've said fuel about 1,000 times, but I've just never seen them make it this far. And I don't feel like everybody's running 100% at the moment. What's going to happen? Coffey still leading the way. Big push from the 17. Caden Orfrey now on the outside. He's got the 32. And Matt Cox behind him. We know Matt Cox has enough fuel. He's done gone down pit road. So he can push as much as he wants. '17 still pushing the 15. But here comes the 32. Pushing the 20. Can they get out there? They become disconnected just a little bit. That inside middle line is sort of cheating up, but here they go. Big run. As Kenny Coppola with a big push from Chris Davis, going to surge out front. They get disconnected. Here comes the 17. They're going to get to the bumper of the 15. Big push for Alex Coffey. He's going to go back out front. That inside line is starting to get a little bit more organized, but you see all the gaps that are back there? They're not completely pushing just yet. 3 laps to go here in this one, though. Who's going to win? Kenny Coppola teetering on that apron. '17, big hit from the 20 into the 15. Well, intensity is ramping up now as here comes the 17 again. Coppola gets out front for a second, gonna fall back just a little bit. Big push now, the 15 out front. Cross the stripe, 2 laps to go at Talladega. Who is gonna win this one? Oh, they're wrecking behind him. Blaine Wilson goes around. No caution yet. He stopped on the track. That will for sure. No caution. We stay green. Blaine Wilson on the cutoff. Did not need that to happen, but no caution as we stay green. Coppola now out front. Coffey. They are neck and neck. Coffee going to surge ahead with help from Nigel Christensen. That two-car tandem has been pretty incredible here at the end. They kind of get spread out here as they come to take the white flag. One more lap to go. Who's going to win it? Oh, Coffee and Nigel get disconnected. Coffee loses his help. Here comes Belmont down to the inside. Oh, they bump and bang. Bikey into the wall. Big wreck behind them. Everybody's going up there flipping. Upside down. Cars on top of cars. Oh, gosh. Turn your kids' eyes away. They can't see this. We stay on the front. As they're going to go by Nick King. They get single file. You got Nigel Christensen, Caden Norfrey, Belmont, Alice Coffey, and Kenny Coppola. Who's going to take the victory? Coming off of turn 4, Caden Norfrey going to go to the outside. It looks like Nigel Christensen is out of fuel. Now Caden Norfrey going to go up to try to block as Belmont goes to the outside. Help from Alex Coffey. They're going to be 3 wide at the finish, and it is Caden Norfrey is going to win here at Talladega. And you could see how close they were on fuel. Nigel Christensen runs out. He finishes 7th, but he run out of fuel on the final lap. But Caden Norfrey had enough fuel. And you see some folks slow on the track. Jeffrey Taylor. Others running out. We wondered if they were low on fuel, and there's your answer. Guys saved enough to run 42 laps on a tank of fuel. And Caden Norfrey is your winner here tonight at Talladega. First win of the season. What a great drive by the number 20. And teammates there at the end. Alex Coffey pushed him to the victory. So now the 20 will go celebrate. Burnouts. Gonna burn them down on the front stretch right in front of Barney. What an incredible, incredible race there. I mean, it obviously wasn't as exciting as you would expect just because we had the fuel situation. We'll go back a couple laps and watch all this play out. Big wreck behind them as they all just started to pile in. And on board with Nigel Christensen. On the same team as these guys, just all dig. On board with him. We'll see him when he starts to stutter. He's stuttering right there. Caden Norfrey giving him a push. He pulls down to the bottom. And there they go, Caden Norfrey. And then look at this, the 15 could have gone down, tried to take the win away. Belmont trying to get the win, but the help from the 15 was enough to get the 20, the victory. And wow, we'll go back and see if we can find out what happened with that wreck. Little bump there between Shane Davis, and then it all just kind of goes crazy. You see the 2 of Darren Mills on top of another car. Multiple drivers. Aaron Matthews just plows right into the wreck. Look at the 69 of Jared Clark just slicing his dicing his way through that. Go on board with Aaron Matthews in that 5. He comes home in 10th place. He had Jared Clark pushing him there at the end. On board with him here. Somebody said go Aaron. Yeah, look, watch this. It's the last lap. You ain't lifting. He did lift a little bit. Oh, man. Kept his foot in it. He comes home in 11th. Guys are running out of fuel. What a crazy ending to the race that kind of got calm there, that last little run as everybody's saving fuel. The driver, that's Barry Sanders, likely out of fuel there. Barry Sanders, look at him, just out of gas. You hear the engine cut off. Just didn't quite make it. So there's our answer. They were saving as hard as they could to make it to the end. Man, it's really exciting stuff there. Caden Norfrey is your winner. Well, let's take a look at the results, and then we'll talk to these drivers. Well, Caden Norfrey takes the win here. Non-playoff driver gets his first win of the season. Alex Coffey there in second. Justin Belmont in third. Kenny Coppola comes home in fourth. He's locked in. Hunter Carmichael in fifth. Chris Davis in sixth. Good finishes for those playoff drivers. Nigel Christensen runs out of gas there at the end. Comes home in seventh. Johnny Shade in eighth. And Jordan Schmeets in ninth. Jeffrey Taylor in that 10th spot. In 11th, Aaron Matthews in 12th. Tim Wortman Jr. Paul Gallimore in 13th. Ryan Huff in 14th. Ed Bulls Jr. 15th. Andrew Nieder 16th. Blaine Wilson 17th. Watched him spin out. No caution comes out, though. 18th. Shane Davis. He was part of that that little wreck there happened at the end. He's going to finish in 18th. Brandon Bikey in 19th. Darren Mills in 20th. Brandon Fetter placed in 21st. Barry Sanders in 22nd. 23rd, Nick King. And 24th, Jamison Middlemiss. 25th, Warren Young. 26th, Jared Clark. 27th, Matt Cox. 28th, Matt Mackin. 29th, Randy Mullins. 30th, Jeff Carson. And 31st is Matt Mettler. Well, all right, let's do some interviews and let's talk to these drivers. Of course, we've got to start with the winner, Caden Norfrey, with the win here tonight. Man, Caden, that was incredible. Y'all saved enough fuel and you're able to get the victory, man. How does it feel?
I don't know how to feel. This is my first win ever in this league, and I've been in here for about 2 years trying, so it feels good to get one finally.
Well, we wondered. You know, I was spinning my wheels up in the booth wondering about fuel, but you guys were able to go 42 laps on fuel. How much were you saving? How did you save enough to get there to the end?
I was just following my teammates through it, and we were all saving back there, hoping we had enough, and everything worked out. We were able to get the lines going, get the runs going, and I couldn't do it without my teammates, Coffee, Nigel, Blaine, and Johnny. They helped a lot throughout this race.
Well, man, hey, look here. This is the first win in this series. So don't regret this interview. Give me some information, man. Talk about your race. Tell us how it went for you. Let's start from the very beginning. What y'all's plan was coming in. Obviously, you want to work as a team. What was the plan coming in? Do you feel like you executed that plan? What were you trying to do throughout the race?
I think we blew the plan out of the water. We're just going to drive around, hang out, and be there at the end, and it worked out. I mean, it was pretty chaotic in the first part. I was involved in 2 different wrecks, but didn't have too much damage. Crew was able to fix it up, patch it up, and I was able to get on the loud pedal and drive this thing to the front. It was a very eventful race, but hopefully it was fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, fuel saving in the final stage, I mean, you don't see that very often. When you guys started making your way to the front, how confident were you that you were going to make it, or were you pushing it there on fuel?
There was probably about 5 laps there at the end where I didn't think I was going to make it. I ran out of gas trying to do a burnout. So
wow,
that's always the fun part.
Cow. So a green-white checker comes out, you guys are in trouble.
Yeah, no, that when they were saying the wreck was in the back, I was like, please, no caution, please, 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 please keep this thing green, because I got the best position in the house.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Well, hey, look, man, congratulations. Y'all played the strategy perfect. you had a teammate help you there at the end, gave you that push to get across the start finish line. So at Talladega, it takes teamwork, and you're absolutely right. Your team knocked it out of the park here tonight, and you were able to get your first win in this league. So congratulations, man. Go celebrate. And who do you have to thank here tonight?
Like I said, every one of the boys that dig back at the shop, they're the reason why I'm here today and driving these fast cars, having fun.
All right. Well, there you have it. Caden Norfree, first win here in Moonshiners Racing League. He gets it here at Talladega. Let's talk to your second place finisher, Alex Coffee. It's been a while. It feels like it's been a while since I've talked to you, Alex. But tonight, you guys came in. Caden said y'all threw the strategy out the window, said you're going to hang out in the back. Is that kind of what you felt like you were going to do here tonight?
Well, I had to make sure I gridded up with like 20 seconds left, and then I had just sat down from using the restroom after qualifying. I was like, I don't know if I put the race set in, so I hopped out to check and missed the start. So first stage was just staying on the lead lap. But yeah, after that, I mean, it was so dicey up there and sketchy. We were just kind of riding, and that last run was about saving fuel. So we were back there trying to save as much as we could, so we knew we had stuff to go for at the end, and worked out for the most part. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of fuel mileage races. Wish that everybody could have just got to it, but we probably would have had a caution. So it worked out.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be close. I mean, I was sitting there thinking, man, it's been a long. I don't know if I've ever seen them make 42 laps at Talladega on a tank of fuel, but you guys were able to do it. I mean, at what point did y'all feel like, hey, we got to go? You guys were kind of riding in the back, and then y'all just kind of blew up through the field and got to the front. Was there a certain point that you guys were looking for, a certain amount of fuel that you had left that you were like, okay, let's roll?
I know some of us were while we were in the back. Some of us were 2 laps to the good. Some of us were 1 lap. So I knew it'd be close for the guys that were 1 lap to the good. We went with about 10 to go. I knew once we got to the front, that those numbers would change up, and it was we were going to be shorter than we thought we were. So we were just trying to make sure we had enough to get up there and then not have to, you know, not have to worry too much about it after that. But I was very close to the number there at the end from leading the last 10 or so laps. Um, yeah, it was real close. I mean, when we came out of the pits, we were definitely short. So saved a good bit riding in the back, and I was surprised that all those guys that rode in the front the whole time were still going at the last lap there. So
Well, and on that final lap, you Justin Belmont pulls out, tries to take the win away from your teammate. You had a big run there. I mean, that's a great opportunity for the third car to try to jump in there and take a win, and in your case, lock yourself into the playoffs. Did you do what you wanted to do? Are you regretting it a little bit? Are you happy with your decision to push your teammate?
yeah, I'm happy with it. I knew I had a decent buffer. Probably not so much since didn't get any stage points really tonight, but I knew I had a decent enough buffer to be pretty comfortable at the Roval. Also Belmont, I mean, shout out to Belmont. He worked with us pretty much the whole way up through the pack. Was back there saving with us too. When I got cycled out of the lead on accident, I looked up and seen Belmont, and that was about the best person I could have seen back there because we had been working a good all race. So I knew, um, I knew that if Belmont won, it'd lock another car in, which kind of didn't, it's not what you want. So yeah, I was like, well, I'm sticking with Caden here. I didn't want to make it 3 wide and us both lose it, and another playoff car lock in. As much as I like Belmont, gotta play the point. So
Well, did it to perfection. You come home with second. Your teammate takes the victory and move on to the Roval next week. Congratulations, Alex. Great finish for you. Who you have to thank?
shout out to all my teammates. Shout out to Nigel for those great pushes the last 10 laps there. I couldn't ask for any better from him, and it's a shame. I think he ran out off 4. He definitely, I think, had the win locked up. Because Caden, I think, was going to stick with him. And but yeah, shout out to Nigel, shout out to Caden for winning the race. Shout out to Blaine. He had a wreck there in the end that questionably should have been a caution, but never know with these races when the iRacing's going to throw it or not. And shout out to Johnny too. Got up there and led some laps. So shout out to my team. Shout out to Carpy's print company. Shout out to my mom for watching. As always, you doing the broadcast, and Barry and the admins for putting the league on every week.
All right, there you have it. Alex Coffey, your second place finisher. And then we'll get your third place finisher, Justin Belmont. And we talked to him a few weeks back. And he said, man, I'm going to get up here and start to really put some time in and try to get back into the Final Four. And here you are again on the podium in that beautiful number 6 car. And you had to work for it here tonight, man. Talk about your race.
Man, we're doing it. We every round I get shipped to the back of the line. I gotta just keep going forwards. I don't know, man. That was a crazy race. That was a really, really good one. That was a lot of hard work. I'm glad we were able to rebound.
Yeah, a lot of pushing and shoving early in the race, fighting for those stage points, and then there on that final stage with the way the cautions kind of laid out, it became a fuel mileage race. And I just was wondering. I was like, man, 42 laps is a long time on fuel. Can they make it? And you guys just kept saving and kept saving and kept saving. When did you feel like, okay, I think I'm good on fuel, can start being a little bit aggressive here?
I planned on 10 to go, and then I started to go a little bit, and that number took a big dip. So really, like 5 to go is when I started to go, and I ran out coming out of turn 2, just past the start finish line. If we had to go one more lap, I would have been toast.
Well, that was awesome to see folks make it that far on fuel. Let's talk about that move on the final lap. You made it really early, coming, I think it was right out of 4, maybe right before the tri-oval. Do you feel like that was your best shot to do it? Should you have waited a little bit longer? What's your thoughts on trying to make that move there at the start finish line?
Yeah, I wanted to wait. I wanted to, but I had such a good run on Caden that had I tried to draft with him, I think it would have hurt me more than it would have helped. So I kind of had to take it, and I think it would have been really close. But he kind of threw the block, and we made a little bit of contact and slowed us both up a little bit. But I had to take it. I had to take that shot there. If I hadn't, I don't know if I would have been able to get the run, build some momentum, and get him at the line. I don't know if I would have had it.
Well, being able to lock yourself in at Talladega is obviously nice, but dadgummit, if third place ain't a great finish at Talladega when you came into the race +7 above the cutoff. So a lot of guys had trouble. So I think, I don't know. What's your feelings after this race? Are you pretty thrilled with this, or are you kind of disappointed you didn't get the win?
A little disappointed we didn't get the win. It would have been nice to be locked in and not have to worry about the Roval. That would have been pretty nice because the road courses are they're tough for me. So it would have been nice. But I had a pretty good points. I think I finished 6th, stage 2, and obviously 3rd at the end there. So pretty good points night. But I shouldn't have to worry too much, I hope. But it would have been nice to get that win, man. That would have been really nice.
Yeah. Well, 3rd place, not too shabby. So congratulations on that. And we'll move on to the Roval next week. And who do you have to thank?
Thank you guys for putting it on, man. You do a good job every week. I enjoy watching them back. And Team Watson, Warrior Raps, always. Those guys are the best. We're working on new paint, so I don't know if I want to change it, though. I've had some good luck in this thing.
There you go. I wouldn't. It's the best looking paint scheme every single week.
Thank you, man.
All right, there he was. Justin Belmont takes 3rd place. And, man, I'll tell you what, that's going to do it for us here tonight at Talladega. Put on a great show, strategy, all kinds of stuff going on in this race. Wrecks, guys flipping upside down. It's fuel mileage, guys running out of fuel. But not one green flag pit stop. That's about the only thing we missed here tonight. We got the rest of it taken care of. So, well, that's going to be it for us tonight. The Ram 300 here at Talladega is in the books. Caden Norfrey takes the victory here in the OB Builders Cup Series. I'm Eddie Smith with V-Speed. Thanks to Bradley Cooper, Adam Baker, all those at V-Speed who put in a lot of work, and all the people watching. Y'all have a great night. We will see y'all next week at the Roval. Get ready to turn right and left. See y'all.